I don't know if you noticed this already, but DistroKid changed a lot around and now they have this new goodies menu here. In here, they have a bunch of ways to promote and improve your music. In Get Heard now, they have slaps.com, which is a whole social media site dedicated to promoting your music. They have a new feature called Social Phone, where basically you get an entire phone number for interacting with your fans. Under Upstream, you can send your music to major record labels like Republic Records. Special Access is my favorite tab because there's the YouTube official artist thing where you can just get an official artist channel within a couple of days. If you want to click in the top right corner, I made a whole video on how to do it through DistroKid. And now you can become a Twitch affiliate immediately just by being a DistroKid member. Getting access to this and so much more for just $19.99 a year is actually insane. And you can even save 7% on your first year by using my link at the top of the description. Again, huge shout out to DistroKid for sponsoring today's video. That being said, let's talk about how to write. Yo guys, what is going on? It's mmxvii, aka 2017, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys some ways to improve your writing. I am by no means the best writer out there, but I have gotten a lot better recently, and I want to teach you guys some of the ways that have helped me improve my writing. If this video does well and I find some more ways to improve your writing, then maybe I'll do a second one. Make sure you leave a like on the video, and if you have any tips for anyone else that I don't put in this video, leave a comment. That said, let's get into it. The first tip is to stop using Rhyme Zone. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to argue with me in the comments about this. I don't think Rhyme Zone is absolutely horrible. Honestly, if you're new to writing music, then it's not that bad. But if you want to speed up the pace of improvement, trust me, Rhyme Zone is only holding you back. It doesn't give you anywhere near enough close rhymes. A lot of people end up just using the single syllable rhymes, which is so obvious and just boring. People really be out here saying things like cat, hat, rat, sat, and thinking they just did something. Like, bro, no, I'm sorry. Teach your own brain and trust it to think of the rhymes for you. A lot of really well-written songs don't even have that many perfect rhymes. A lot of it's just near rhymes or several words together that kind of sound like a rhyme. And when all you're thinking about is just these perfect rhymes, it's really gonna slow your brain down and stop it from thinking of all these creative ways to pronounce things to make them sound like other words. Another one is to stop saying the same things. There was a point where I was writing a lot of the same lyrics, and the way that I kind of realized was that my keyboard started giving me suggested words, and I could just tap the middle button and it would type out the exact sentence that I was about to write. And I was like, all right, I gotta stop using these exact sentences because clearly my phone knows exactly what I want to say. So if your keyboard is telling you what you're about to write, it's probably time to get rid of that line. The third tip that I have is to start personifying things. You can make a really cool story when you talk about a situation or like an object or something that has meaning or some sort of value to you, and you give sort of a story behind it that feels like a person is telling it. Or if it's in like your own personal perspective, speaking to it as if it were a living thing. Most people find it more relatable when it feels like a person speaking to another person. But when the storyline is really creative and about something that may not actually be a real person, it still has that relatable feel, but it has a way deeper meaning, and typically you end up writing a lot cooler stuff because you're thinking about a different situation that's not a person-to-person situation. The fourth tip that I have is to stop using so many filler words. A lot of people will just end up saying yeah or a or other words like that, and when you start filling your song with a whole lot of yeah, like you just missed out on a lot of great space that you could fill with really impactful lines. So try to move away from just saying the same sort of filler words all the time. When they're done tastefully, it really does add to the song, but when they're overdone, it just feels really low effort. The fifth tip that I have is to write about personal or unknown stories. A lot of the time when you write about your own personal experiences, even if they're not that crazy, you can amp them up with a lot more emotion or descriptive words that sound really intense. Even though the situation might be fairly mundane and normal, you can make them sound a lot more impactful on a song. When you write about your own personal stories versus just fake stuff that you've heard a ton of other artists already do, it comes out a lot more emotional and real as well. It might be more uncomfortable at first, but it does sound a lot better. And when I suggest unknown stories, you can always write about stories that aren't your own. I know that I like listening to a lot of scary stories like Corpse Husband or watching True Crime Daily. I always find those kind of stories really interesting, so I could write from the perspective of someone or something that was in that story. Tip number 6 is to make sure that the fourth line in every stanza is the most impactful. So if you haven't figured this out already, all songs are broken down into stanzas of 4. Every time you come to a fourth bar, you want to have a very impactful change and line. So you may have 3 lines in a stanza that are recycled, extremely boring, and overdone, but if you switch up the fourth one to be extremely impactful, it's going to make a world of a difference to the track. And those lines are super important, especially when it comes to a drop, because a lot of people want to say that fourth line out loud and then hit the drop. Tip number 7 is that subjects don't actually matter, it's just how you talk about them. If you're talking about the same, like stacking money, having sex, getting cool cars, big houses, whatever the typical rap genre stuff is, if you're saying things like she give me top, pull up in a coupe and I'm swerving, I got the stars in the roof on the Phantom, I'm fucking your hoe in the back of the whip. All of those things are just so overplayed, but if you talk about it in a different way, it sounds so much more intricate. And tip number 8 is a bit of a bonus. There's a website called RapPad. I don't use it personally, but I know quite a few people that do. If you find yourself struggling with writing, you don't know if it's well written, this is a site where you can copy paste your lyrics. It gives you like a grade based off of your rhyme schemes, the amount of syllables, it keeps track of that. You can like talk to other artists on there as well. It's kind of a cool website, so I'm gonna leave it linked in the description if you want to check it out. But the people that I do know that use it say it really helps them. So as long as it's helping people improve, that's all that really matters. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, leave a like and a comment down below. Shout out to DistroKid for the sponsor. Anyways, guys, it's been your boy mmxvii, and I'm out. Peace.